Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the RationalInvestor.com's Daily Brief Recap. I like to drag that title out long enough so I can hear that. Yay, it's working on YouTube. Awesome. Of course, Kevin's driving the bus here. Got all that ready to go. Thank you so much, Kevin, for your assistance. We had a great daily brief today. Sjord came on. Of course, we've had a big objective to get the site up and running and producing tradable content here automatically from all our algorithms and stuff for January 1st. I have to say, Sjord's coming along, man. Extolled his virtues yesterday in the Broiler Chickens show. Went at length today about what a great job he and Julian are doing steering TRI into the future. And again, he gave us an awesome presentation today. Widgets galore. And actually, so I'm not really going to leave site content conversations at that for now. But point here for you guys is what the hell's the market doing? Actually, it was really interesting. As Sjord was going through his presentation, he showed us all the various different breadth charts that we have. And it's kind of funny how we got a little bit of a perk up here. You can see the crossover in the breadth reading here for the S&P 500. He showed us actually we're following the European 600, I think it is the biggest 600 stocks in Europe, and it's actually comfortably turned higher. I don't know. I'm probably going to blow this up, but let's see if I can change that. I might be able to. Stock 600. I think this was it. Let's see. Is this going to work? Always dangerous to do these things on the fly. And yeah, wow, look at that breadth. Damn, man, something's changed here. So that that's a relatively positive sign. You never really know how these crazy celestial relationships are going to play themselves out. I mean, you just don't know. Quite often what I've found is that we build energy into one of these events, and then, the energy is expressed, and sometimes it can just be trend continuation. My hunch here is that, through this sort of Christmas break, we had a bunch of political stuff that was, really sort of threw a blanket on things. U.S., the executive branch doing their thing there. Obviously, Brexit, the fruition of that event, that's obviously pretty darn important. We can start to set the stage for what the future now looks like. Had, just a massive celestial event happen there through the end of December, which is going to reverberate literally for the next 20 years. And interestingly enough, I see a lot of very subtle sort of catalysts. I've been talking, and, it's kind of funny and really probably not the place. This is probably more broiler chickens kind of conversation than this kind of stuff. But just in summary, I hope you all are ready. I mean, the world is ready to grow now. And we're now in that, we've made that transition from the fear cycle back into the greed cycle a year or two ago. I think the only missing piece was, ironically enough, great global reset. That's probably what it's going to be called. It's not going to go Klaus's way. I mean, that guy's a nut. But I think what's happened here is they've just literally brought the U.S. dollar down to a very normal technical level. And gee whiz, there is the Jupiter-Saturn cross event, and here is the EVU release date event. And look what's trying to come in down here. Also, too, my reference to all those YouTube and Twitter kind of comments. Geez, look at the bonds taking off here. Mr. Bond King, he's getting his vindication. Look at the gold rolling over here. That's exactly what's supposed to happen at the end of this commodity cycle. Look at the oil breaking here. I'm not quite sure how cryptocurrencies are going to fit into this equation. I was talking with the audience. Of course, we have a big fundamental event happening in February for Ethereum. I don't know whether you call it fundamentals. Anyway, it's being listed on the CME futures. That's probably the catalyst that crypto is probably going to move into. Especially, I might consider that Bitcoin would be the store of value along the lines of sort of the gold kind of case. And gee whiz, Bitcoin's damn expensive now. End of the run, but he's built in a hell of a cushion. Keep in mind, cost of production right now is something like $5,000, $7,000. So Bitcoin has tons and tons of wiggle room. What I do find fascinating, of course, is Ethereum. Is it a growth proxy? Does it represent this sort of dichotomy where, if Bitcoin was the classic store of value, commodity, fear cycle proxy, great, did well through it, exactly what it was supposed to do. Ethereum now the growth proxy, ERC, DeFi, all this, Ethereum 2.0, all that kind of talk. I wonder, it's going to be a really interesting debate going forward. But I sure do like the idea that this US dollar is turning here. And now, actually, this is really interesting. You can actually see from a trader's perspective, reload zones, right? Now they've got a whole bunch of trapped bears in there. Look at that tail. So I was talking with the community earlier. What I would expect is a big rally here. Last thing the market's expecting, right? Too many people are short this US dollar, long anti-dollars and anti-dollar proxies. Also, too, really cool conversation I listened to. Super fortunate. I would strongly suggest you all listen to this. Really, really great conversation. I often tell people that there is a major, major pitfall in thinking about investing your money for the future if you look backwards. Super dangerous. I have a feeling most people in this world are looking backwards. They're saying, oh my God, the US dollar is collapsing. No, the US dollar has already collapsed. Looking for a further US dollar collapse is thinking backwards. Oh, I'm going to go invest in gold. No, gold, the time to buy gold was in 2000 when it was like $200, $300. That's yesterday's story. And Raul here, actually, he nailed it. He said that in this interview. I thought it was a great interview. Also, too, Raul said, whatever's going to happen in the future, it is not going to be what you've seen in the past. It's the future. So he actually made a very compelling case that China's actually a ticking time bomb. He was talking to a demographics guy, the fourth turning guy. They both agreed China is a ticking time bomb. And it is, now it's got like a fucking dictator at the wheel. So not only does it have demographics working against it, which you don't want to invest in societies where the demographics are working against you. How's that gone in Japan? How's that gone in North America and Europe for the past 10, 20 years, right? China's even worse. Its demographic, it looks like an absolute nightmare. And then to add insult to injury, are you going to invest your money in a political dictatorship? What the fuck? Do not invest your money in China, people. Please, for God's sakes. This is not financial advice. If you're going to go invest your money in China, fine. I am. And, of course, I don't like totalitarian dictatorships anyway, so there's no way I would invest there anyway. Point being that Raul, and actually I'm not going to tell you. I want you to go and watch the video and learn for yourself. Raul told you a story in this video that I find actually incredibly compelling. And hint, 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 the answer's in the headline of the tweet. Probably a question on the final exam. That one's for you, Jamie. Okay, let's actually talk about what the hell we're supposed to be talking about here. US dollar. Is it turned? I don't know. I like the idea of a US dollar rally here. Which means, of course, I'm anti-commodities. And I will be for the next, 15 years. I don't know what to make about the crazy stock market. Are you really going to take a bet against a company like Amazon here? Obviously in this COVID world, there's going to be more deliveries, and look at what Amazon's doing today. I mean, I don't know how you can take a bet against that. That to me looks like a very, very bullish chart. So I wouldn't be surprised to see the stock market ratchet higher here. Also, too, I think there's going to be a bit of a honeymoon period here into the Biden inauguration as well. You know, if we think about crypto, there's catalyst coming. You know, Facebook, Libra, all that kind of stuff in January. Lots of legislation that they're trying to pass through the U.S. Treasury due to be reviewed in January with good old Maxine. And, of course, like I said earlier, we got ETH CME futures. So my hunch is there's some sort of climactic peak coming in here, maybe in maybe sometime mid-January or something. But I look at that chart and I go, you know, a lot of people are going to be like, you know, I got my Christmas shit all through Amazon. I can't see how their earnings are going to disappoint. And you look at a lot of these tech companies, they look uppy. Look at NASDAQ here, just broke out. There's another new high. Jesus H. Christ. Look at Apple. Ay caramba. Oh boy, look out. So I don't think I'm really ready to take serious bets. In fact, actually, I did a trade for TRI. I put on a bear ETF, and then I just took it right off when the setup failed. I do have some bear ETFs in my retirement account and personal trading account. I've got some put options, well, call options on those bear ETFs. But those are more like insurance policies. Like, I buy some puts on Bitcoin just to make sure my ass is covered in case all hell breaks loose. I got lots and lots of long equity on the books. So if the market wants to move higher, awesome. You know, here's a great example. We stepped in. This is one of TRI's principals, Julian, his idea. And you can all see the W's. You can probably understand when I look at a chart like this and go, fuck it, just buy that thing now. And we seem to be being treated pretty well here. It's not bad. You know, it's a trader's life. Traders got to trade, right? Just do your thing. We were buying some of these warrants here recently. I mean, look at that. It's just crazy. And you look at this stock. The stock looks like it's about to go to the moon. So I don't know. I got a triple off here from my last selling level. I don't know whether I really want to sell any more of this, but you know, this is where my opinion comes in. I'm the demonstrator of best practices, so of course, when the assets double, I have to force myself to spoon feed. But you know, that's the kind of market we're in right now. And I tell you, man, is this world getting ready to grow? You want to see it? I think I showed you that Saturn, Pluto. You're going to get used to this. We haven't seen this kind of environment in the stock market in a very, very long time. So that's quite encouraging. You know, all you crypto kids, look at my goddamn SRAX. I told you about this thing. It's finally waking up here. And with this big honking W now confirming, let's be conservative. We'll go off of that level there. You can see the foggy. Guess where the hell this thing's saying it wants to go? Hello. So, of course, we're long bucket loads all through this $2 area here. But finally, god damn, this thing, we've been waiting forever for this thing to get going. But hopefully you can see nice LJs coming in here. Looks good. All right, so there's a typical crypto stock that's probably going to make us a lot of money. And of course, don't want to show Riot because it just drives Kevin crazy. He was long, I think he was long like half the company's stock here for about 50 cents. Oops. He let it go a little bit early, but okay, no big deal. I'm still spoon feeding. So I got my next order on Merrill working up top. Not really a huge move higher, but if they want to take it higher, so be it. And HUT, Canadian market's closed today, so nothing going on there. But the U.S. proxy, I think, is doing pretty well today. So, crypto names treating pretty well. Yeah, look at that. He's pushing up to new highs. So I don't think we'll get any fills off, but you never know. Not a bad market. I mean, it's pretty uppy. One thing that surprised me, and I guess this kind of makes sense, considering my comments about gold. Look at the gold tried to move up higher earlier this morning. Remember, Jupiter, Saturn cross. Technically, that cycle's over. And look at what's forming here today on Agnico Eagle. Uh-oh, that's not good. So you can see if this thing closes below, what is that? 70.99. What? 70? No, what's the low? 70.56. Beg your pardon. 70.56. Uh-oh. 70.49. If we close below 70.56 there, that's an outside downside key reversal. A slightly bearish indication. Uh-oh. It's interesting to see that, and actually, I don't know if it's still up. Let's go take a look. Actually, I think it's the U.S. proxy of our First Majestic is AG. Oh, look at that. So he gapped violently higher. Silver just was taking off this morning. Doesn't look as bad as those big gold stocks, but, yeah, I mean, we did make a new high today, so that's good. But I'll tell you, gold looks kind of dangerous here. Maybe, you know what this probably does? It probably cleans up that gold-silver ratio, which was way out of whack forever. What am I supposed to be talking about here today? I'm totally derailed. So, stocks moving higher. Interesting how the small caps are kind of like Amazon and Apple's are kind of like, hey, what the fuck? Come on. So, small caps are underperforming versus large caps. That might fractal out there. We go through a period where, you know, Amazon's, Microsoft's, Apple's, they do better. Could be. Yeah, wouldn't surprise me. And, of course, remember, Fugazi World, really if you really want to see the real value of the stock market, we probably should be looking at this versus, like, not that, but where do I have that? Yeah, over here. Well, no, not that. One of these crazy charts. Must be this one. Yeah. So, where are we here? There's NASDAQ. There's NASDAQ inflation adjusted. Here we are. Dow inflation adjusted. So, that's actually your stock market right now. Actually, no, it doesn't look too bad. I mean, I think I mentioned this. You know, that is a W. So, we might be working our way back up against the top end of the range here. And, of course, in the Fugazi market, I'm not exactly sure where the hell that high is. It's a hell of a lot higher, though. Darn, I've lost all my charts. There. And in the Fugazi world, I don't know whether, I mean, gee whiz, look at that big honking W. I mean, does that start firing and we start painting huge upside targets? Funny thing is, you know, you could have the Fed come out, another big whack of quantitative easings. This thing goes zooming higher, and that M2 chart doesn't really do anything. So, man, I'll tell you, the powers that be are sure making this damn difficult for us to try and figure out. It's almost like I used to always say this line in the brokerage industry. As soon as they stop taking the pig shit, you switch to the horse shit. As soon as they stop taking the horse shit, you switch to the bullshit. As soon as they stop taking the bullshit, you switch to the chicken shit. So it feels like it's the same kind of thing. They're just going to keep Fugazing this world along. Democratic politicians keep getting elected, making silly promises they can't deliver on. But if they just keep finessing the stock market higher, people open up the newspaper and they go, oh, look, stocks are at a new high. Must be getting richer. And the game goes on. So anyway, higher highs. Interesting, you know, the gold kind of stalled out there. Like I said, we could get outside downside reversals on those big gold stocks. If this thing goes and M's out, then that probably means this little uptrend, whatever that was, stalled and then died. It's fascinating to see the bonds really trying to rally here, but I still think they're kind of just stuck in the mud. Mr. Bond King, dude, he's expecting big rallies out of the bond market. I don't know. I'm still not entirely convinced. I suppose if the U.S. dollar takes off and we get into that big dollar squeeze kind of scenario, equities, world equities, I think could get really smacked hard. You know, I mean, there's why couldn't there be a massive scandal on the world equity stage? Keep in mind, the Brexit shit is done now. So if they needed to prop the market up into that event to get it done, now that's over. Of course, like we said, new president of the United States, that's done. It's over. That old guy. Really, I guess there's one more debate. But actually, I even saw Trump pass the legislation that Congress put forward there. That's probably one reason why the stock market's feeling a little better here today. More stimulus checks, which means more purchase orders placed through Amazon for Microsoft and Apple products. Up they go. Interesting how crude here. Again, I don't think I'm a big fan of commodities anymore. As of this line on the charts here, I actually have to officially turn, and really my feeling was that the actual pivot came a couple years ago, but as of this Jupiter-Saturn cross now, I don't know how I can be bullish of commodities anymore. I am bullish of growth. Small caps. Maybe we could use a little bit of backfilling here. This got a little bit out of hand. I don't know. Maybe it continues. I mean, really no trade. This is just more sort of market information. And the small caps have just had a major boner. I suppose, we do have a 3-bar fractal there. So maybe we should, if we see this low taken out tomorrow morning, then it means that the small caps are going to underperform. And like I said, you could have Amazon and Apple and all them just go ape shit. There you go. The old corn, I was a little disappointed to see that it looks to me like this is very cliche. The sort of pros leave on their business desks for business. Then the weekend they come in, screw with the market. Better make sure I have the market back for when they come back. The problem with today's price action is today is quasi-holiday. It's sort of a holiday, but not really. Like in Canada, I think in the UK, Boxing Day is a holiday as well. I know it definitely here is a holiday in Canada, so, I look out my window, there's not a hell of a lot going on outside. I'm not quite sure how active it is in the States. Obviously the American markets are open, but, we had big notices that all Canadian markets were closed today. So obviously, they didn't hit the reset button here for today. Where they brought it back to, interestingly enough, was this level. I'm not quite sure what that means. We'll pay attention to see tomorrow. Probably ought to make a reference to this. Whether it was tomorrow's, basically the pros come back after that Boxing Day holiday, Monday morning, or Tuesday, beg your pardon. And, for me, for tax loss selling purposes, big message is got to have all the business done tomorrow. So, in a weird sort of way, I do like the idea that they kept the market up here before that event tomorrow. Because I think that's the real sort of like where the pros really going to be active. Also, too, still have a couple objectives here that haven't been hit. Foggy, bot objective, they're just floating out there. They have not been traded to yet, which is odd because usually these things like to finish themselves here, especially foggies. So as you can see through the daily brief, I was kind of talking, if this is a harmonic top up here, what might that look like? And we were sort of contemplating maybe a butterfly or a crab, something along those lines. So, also, too, we had a bunch of people come up with other studies that painted this 30,000 level as a pretty important number. And, Ethereum's got a major hard-on today. Yeah, just rocking it, hitting its 50% level, good old WD GAN. We have come up into A, B, C, D objectives. There is a foggy level there. So, are we near some sort of pivot? I think I've told you this before. Usually these turns take about a month or so. So maybe we're coming into some sort of top. And like we said, the big catalyst for Ethereum is like here in the next, 4 weeks. So, I definitely like the idea of us coming into a top. This is the vulgarity of course, trading things like options. Right now, like I buy June options, and really I want to shop for some Septembers now. I'm not even thinking about what price is doing today. What I'm thinking about is what does price look like the middle of May, middle of June, middle of July kind of stuff. Could I see by the time we get to the middle of May, June, July, we're pulling back here? Yeah, sure. Let's hope, typical crypto, sometimes these drops can be just gut-wrenching. I hope that's not the case. Looking at this, I put a funny tweet out, as they were dumping the market last night. I was like, okay, well, there's where they got to bring the market back to. They did half of the move, then they consolidated. Does the other half have to come here now? Could be. But having said that, I still like one more push up top here, believe it or not. Nothing really to report on alts other than the fact that Ethereum is just going for it right now. DeFi's catching a nice bid. Interestingly enough, I mean, our I guess it's this one. Little poop perp, I guess we'll call it. Trying to put in like bullish bots, eh? Boom, 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 and then boom, 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 boom. Ugh. If you want to trade it, I mean, clearly we did not break the way that I was expecting this to. We never did really M out here in earnest, though. So, had I taken a short shot, this would have been a terrible trade location, right? You want to short in red boxes. I would definitely be like, okay, well, clearly the market told me I was wrong, so get the hell out of there. Where this thing actually finishes, I don't know. I mean, maybe this thing's going to pop up top here through that February Catalyst event. Could be. I mean, there is a W there. WWW by the something, 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 something. So, Mr. Foggy. Ooh, look at Foggy. Foggy's saying 2100 area. Maybe A, B, C, D. Let's see if that lines up. And that sure is a switch, eh? Man, we were so negative here for quite a while on these alts. So great to see that they're actually starting to try and turn the corner. Yay! So let's see where that takes us. A, B, C, D. Well, that's not bad. So you've got both A, B, C, Ds and Foggies. Both suggesting up around this 2Gs. So, I don't know. If you got a setup that gets you long through here, there might be something to trade. There might even be a bot here, right? 1 low, 2 low, 3 lows. I wonder where the 25 level is. So, it is what it is. Probably nothing that I'll do, but I'll keep my eyes peeled. If there's something that jumps out at me, I'll definitely bark about it and through these daily briefs and stuff. Well, one that did pop up that I remember I was talking with the community about was Digi. Digi. Look at that. Son of a gun. 1 low, 2 lows, 3 lows they held, and woohoo! So there's Digi. Buy him at 0.0267. Looking for a double. I can produce a nice little risk-free trade for you if you want it. All right, so, that's the state of the market. Great to see that, what I'd love to see is I'd love to see crypto transition into a growth proxy. We leave all these commodities and yesterday's story and just leave the Peter shifts and fuck it. Bitcoin's not, store of value. You're an idiot, Peter. Go away. You go bury your head in that gold sand, and we'll all leave you behind. Let's see how, can Bitcoin morph into a growth story? Definitely think Ethereum is heading that direction. And, of course, a lot of these alts are, DeFi and all that kind of stuff. So, all right, well, fun market. Hope you enjoyed that summary. I don't know whether I actually gave you any value there, but PMA for the win. Of course, we got a raffle coming up. Kevin will include the link to sign up for the raffle. And we'll keep you abreast of when that will be in the videos and shows coming up. So, have yourselves a great day. All the best, and bye for now. And are you done?